what's wrong with men, or where are all the good men, or this or that. It's like, did you ever think that they might be reacting to a real situation in the world? Do you ever think that they might be sick and tired of having half their stuff taken from them if you're not happy? Did you ever think that they don't like being accused of being abusive because, I don't know, they said, I don't like this, or you shouldn't do that, or maybe they got angry? They're a human being, but you don't allow them any of that. Talking to women. The women don't allow the men any of that without going, haha, got you. Well, you know what? One thing I have learned from paying attention and listening to men is that a man can only take so much. And then he's like, done.
Welcome back to TheChowTimePod. It's your host, Red. I got videos a day from Man Reacts. A new wave of men are just walking away, and modern women hate it. Subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. Let's get that chow. It's chow time.
Feminism was never a rights movement. The civil rights movement was a rights movement. Women could vote. In some cases, women could rule. And a lot of what was there was not exclusively to keep women out, but mutually agreed upon because it was a matter of fact over a matter of feelings. A female fireman or cop cannot do a man's job, and these were supposed to be our finest and strongest men. As modern female sports have shown us, even our weaker men, including 15-year-old boys, can overpower the best women have to offer.
The reason why men hate this new generation of women so much is because we're finally starting to realize how powerful.
Men are not intimidated by powerful women. They really aren't. I'll tell you what I see in this new generation of women. Very little self-respect. I'm 34 years old, and I have never seen the level of hoery going on in this world. Most of these women can't cook. They're foolish women. They don't know how to build their household. Instead, they destroy it with their own hands. We got women emasculating men left to right, saying it's a problem for them to be a man. But baby, I got a boy. And as parents to a boy, it's my job to be the example and set the standard for the woman that's going to come into his life. It's my husband's job to raise him and teach him what a man really looks like. You see, my husband and I, we work together. I respect his role as male of the household. And he pours on to me all the love I need to keep this household going. See,
Damn
baby,
right.
I'm powerful in my own unique way. And so is my husband.
All feminism did, all it was meant to do, is destroy the family by dividing the female against the male. Take whatever reasons you want. Feminism is, by the admission of feminists, about reducing the population, and feminism came about around the 60s, 70s, when stories like Soylent Green and Logan's Run were warning of the dangers of overpopulation, and technology had women convinced they could put off family until 40, and that it's better to serve an uncaring boss over a loving husband.
Since our society only chooses to focus on toxic masculinity, I'm here to provide you with my list of the top toxic femininity traits. Utter disdain for men. These are the women that categorize all men with the stereotypical toxic masculinity traits. Just because someone has a Y chromosome does not mean that their only intention is to sleep with you, cheat on you, or traumatize you with their uncontrollable aggression and
Hey, the sleeping part's somewhat true.
anti-feminist behavior, always trying to outman men. Same women who want to be equal to men also pray for the downfall of men. Amazing
That's
how
true.
that works. Ladies, if you spend your entire life trying to prove to men that you can be better than them, you'll attract none of them and kickstart the extinction of the human race. No accountability. Toxic women bask in oppression and victimhood. It's their go-to excuse whenever they're confronted with irrational behavior. If a woman instantly rationalizes her actions with her oppression, you're fighting a losing battle. Inflated egos. These are the women that have literally no respect for themselves, but feel that because they're a woman, they deserve a Wall Street billionaire with a purity ring who agrees with literally everything they say.
The other biggest issue is
Damn.
the masculinity they have taken away by choosing men of only certain standards as part of a game. Complain if we actually want to talk and open up emotionally because it's not manly. As a Christian, it is a battle with false expectations of having to provide from the start and do all the pursuing. No more mutual honest effort in today's relationship world.
Nope.
I hate the term dating since it is a game. The right to vote was linked to land ownership, not gender, and women have been heads of state and sole rulers before and since America's establishment. Feminism did no good. Do everyone a favor and kindly stop perpetuating this myth.
Right?
And so, women have become the men they wanted or the men they hated. No drama and my peace. Never.
I actually think it's the men they hated. They really pull the most egregious acts from the very most high echelon of men and say it's okay for them to do too. Where most men are not even able to do a lot of these egregious acts, to be able to sleep around like this, to be able to treat people the way they do. But yet,
Never having to face being accused of something that never happened. Never having to jump through hoops to meet a standard that a woman cannot even begin to approach herself.
Do we need men, in your opinion?
No, because they do nothing all day.
Do we need men?
No, like, they just sit there.
all of your fucking wearing, the anime that you're fucking cosplaying was all created by men, you dirty whores. I am blown away at the stupidity of women nowadays, that they just think that everything they have, everything that's they own or use was created by women or something.
Do we need men, in your opinion?
No, because they're icky.
How did he find 3 tiny girls all dressed in just insane fashion? Tough world out there for men. It really is, both on this and the dating side of things. Somebody said, that's the same person 3 times. Thank you. That's what I think. Somebody else said, pay attention to me. You must look at me. I require attention, whether it's good or bad attention. I do not care. Just pay attention to me. Yeah, that's why they're all dressed like that and why they say things like that. It's all for shock value.
It's funny because they're dressed like that, because they're dressing like Demon Blade, which is a very popular anime that men are into. I wonder why they're dressed like that. Oh, it's to get men's attention that like the anime. Oh,
If a man mistreats a woman, there are consequences, and other men will challenge him for his poor behavior. When women mistreat a man, there are no consequences, and other women will champion them and tell them they're a boss babe. It is increasingly clear that more and more women are buying into the social media hype and just becoming more and more narcissistic and entitled. It's completely unbalanced, and men are tired of getting used. This is why a whole new generation of young males are being taught to never be used and exploited by women, and to instead go their own way. You can say some women don't want men to go their own way, but even then, they just want a walking ATM. We've learned our lesson. We're slow learners, but eventually we do catch on.
I admit, yes, we are slow learners, but as long as there's more channels like this, channels like mine, Poor Man's, MTR's, more and more men will acclimate and understand the juice is not worth the squeeze.
No one's going to use me for anything except physical intimacy. I'm not going to be tricked again. No attachments. They can go whenever and wherever they want to go. Well, as a man, I know that the Me Too movement has gotten so bad that almost looking at women will get you in trouble, even if you have done nothing wrong. There was a time I was waiting at a bus stop, and women got off the bus, came over to me and said, "Don't pull on my shirt." Even though I had never seen this woman in my life, luckily, I didn't get in trouble because she was pretty crazy, and no one believed I was anywhere near her. The fact that there are so many women who are modern feminists, who keep saying they don't need men to make us not want anything to do with them. I know personally I will never date a modern feminist, whether she is a second, third, or fourth wave feminist.
Yep.
They keep fighting for more rights when they have more rights than men in so many ways. I look at how badly feminists bash men and think, I don't want a Western woman. Both men and women will find themselves attracted to a toxic person, and unless they are willing to realize that they need to stop dating that kind of person, no matter how many people tell them that they keep dating the same person over and over again, they keep dating that kind of person again. As time goes by, I have found there are some good Western women out there who aren't modern feminists. Honestly, there needs to be a dating service out there for men who can find a good woman who's not a modern feminist and wants to be a partner. No free spirits for me. You know, I used to believe in equality, but extreme feminism has forced me to look deeper into it. Men and women are not equal.
We're not.
If we were, there would be no controversy over trans women in women's sports.
Correct.
There would be no division in sports at all. Women basketball players would have always been playing with and against men. Men cannot have babies, and women can do many jobs that men can do. I have even seen a woman pouring concrete, but that was just one woman. I had never heard of a woman lineman, hot tar roofer, or road construction. The one woman who worked pouring concrete is the only woman I have ever seen working in construction. Oh, besides being a painter. I have been burned by every single woman I have dated and my ex-wife. I have been single for 10 years. I'm so disgusted with their behavior that I can't even bring myself to share my manhood with them. They don't deserve it. Men need to realize that there is more to life than living after women.
And a lot of men are in the same boat as Man Reacts. A lot of men. I was in this boat. You guys are in this boat. We've seen the devastation that we've experienced ourselves. We've seen the devastation that the men around us have experienced. We're not going to do it too. And we're not going to keep fucking ourselves over. Sorry, women. You caused
Women
it.
have made their choice now. Stop crying and make a path for your life. Crazy, you only get one life, and these men are crying over families, kids, and women. I guess a ruler needs to place your crybabies back into wars. Most men never procreate. That is nothing new.
Yep.
But today, most men are not forced into war, mines, and fields. Women must stop orienting themselves toward fixing things for men and start fixing themselves. Men who are aware have moved forward and are fine. The fact is that men don't need to feel needed, but we do need to feel wanted and appreciated. It's fine for a woman to not need a man, and for her to tell herself this as often as makes her feel good. She can do for herself all the things men traditionally do, like mow the lawn, fix things around the house, hold a high-paying job, or even, as you said, be a plumber, be an electrician, be a lineman. But if she finds it necessary to say out loud that she doesn't need a man over and over again, particularly to the men she interacts with, and especially to any men she dates, men interpret this as, I don't want a man. That will lead any men she dates to think, and possibly even say to her, well then, you clearly don't want me, so what are we doing here? Everyone wants to be loved for who they are. Attraction to women dies entirely when you realize that your very best case unicorn scenario with a woman is still only that you might be loved despite your vulnerability.
True.
As long as you budget it with incredible caution and never once guess wrong. In the same way, a woman's love for a man dies in that instant. Our love for all women dies instantly when we understand what happened. I've never experienced a more punishing betrayal than opening up to the person I'm supposed to be able to trust most, only to be immediately treated with contempt and looked at like a stranger. When you see how primal that reaction is, you will never again be able to believe that a woman is capable of doing anything more than, at the very best, disdainfully tolerating your vulnerability. And then, there is simply no point to ever having a relationship with one of them. After a certain point, when all you have known in some certain area of life is fail, 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 despite your best efforts to your human abilities, it's time to stop the insanity and withdraw. Go to an area of life where satisfaction is attainable, even if it's not what you initially envisioned.
Passport Bros.
This is the meat and potatoes of it. At some point, you have to abandon the ship before the water hits your chin.
Shout out to Man Reacts. The man's gone through a lot. I think all of you guys have gone through a lot. This is why I don't really push for you guys to have to get married or have to do these things. I say it's a wonderful thing. I say kids are a wonderful thing. Men should be striving for it. But I completely understand. And if you do want it, my suggestion is Passport Bros. Please subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. And I'll catch you guys next time. Ciao.